What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video. And today we're going to be breaking down why Pudge has a 48.6% win rate. Now, this isn't obviously the worst win rate in Dota or anything like that, but Pudge has always been the most popular hero in Dota, if not top 3 easily in terms of pick rate. This hero seems to be picked or banned, especially the lower MMR you go. This hero is king. If you're able to land your hooks, this hero can even look broken. It was being played carry for a while, and there's still a lot of Pudge spammers who are still willing to pick it carry. I think this is probably one of the most funnest heroes in Dota. It is very high risk, high reward. If you're able to land your hooks and know the timings of this hero, you are able to become a menace on the map, and you're always able to get a ton of flesh heaps. And in the late game, you are going to be a very tanky hero doing a lot of damage, and that's always going to be very nice. As you scale infinitely with flesh heaps, it's always going to be very nice. And if you're an active Pudge early on, you're going to have more flesh heaps if you are successful with your kills and team fights. It's always going to be a very fun hero to play. I definitely recommend you guys to play Pudge. If you guys are newer to Dota and don't know anything about Pudge, I definitely recommend you guys to try this hero out. It's extremely fun, and one of the most rewarding feelings out there is when you land a very nice hook, especially a blind hook, which are very difficult to land. Those feel very nice, and it's always going to be something the enemy hero doesn't really expect, especially from really good Pudge players doing it from Fog of War. They're going to be able to get these really crazy hooks where they're just going to think the enemy is going to be cheating, but it's just pure skill, or they just have a ward in. It's just a very easy hook to land, but sometimes it can look quite broken, and this hero definitely has some very good matchups and some really bad matchups, so I'm going to be breaking those down right now. Some of his best matchups are Necrophos, Pugna, Axe, Spectre, and Sniper. Necro is definitely quite strong in the meta, so I've seen a lot of mid Pudge coming in. Pudge can always do really good damage to Necrophos as his hook is pure and he has a lot of damage from rot, and if you take a value point in flesh heaps, you're going to be tanky enough to be dealing with the Necrophos, and if you hook him under tower, he's definitely going to be in a lot of trouble. Pugna is sort of the same thing. Axe is just a very tanky hero, and this member does a lot of damage to him, and Axe has a lot of armor, and Pudge is mostly magical and pure damage with hooks, so it's definitely always going to be very nice to play against a hero like Axe. Some of his bad matchups are Ursa, Timbersaw, Monkey King, Bat Rider, and Weaver. Ursa, obviously, because he does a lot of right click damage, and there's not much the Pudge can ever do to him, as Ursa has Enrage and can get rid of your ultimate quite quickly with all that status resistance. Timbersaw is just always going to be good against very tanky strength heroes. That's just the nature of the hero. Monkey King is a hero that likes to destroy melee heroes, and Pudge can definitely hang on with the Monkey King. If you land some really nice hooks and catch him out of position or break his tree, then you can definitely do something to the Monkey King, but overall it's typically a pretty bad matchup for the Pudge, but it's definitely very skill dependent. If you are better than the Monkey King player, you can definitely come out ahead in that matchup. It's very lane dependent, so you can definitely come out ahead, and in the mid to late game you definitely do just fine against the Monkey King. You can pull him out of the Wukong's command, and it's going to be a really big problem as it's going to cancel the ability. Bat Rider is one of these heroes that Pudge can definitely not deal with at all. Sticky Napalm is just absolutely brutal for a hero like Pudge, and Bat Rider is super fast and can get on top of you quite easily, so you definitely don't want to be picking it into that hero. But Bat Rider's win rate is absolutely abysmal and practically only picked in high MMR pub matches. Other than that, you definitely won't be seeing any Bat Rider unless it's just a very weird spam player that likes to play that hero, but I definitely haven't seen one in a really long time. That hero's just not picked. And Weaver is a very meta hero, even being played in support. It's just super strong. Pudge definitely wants to build Blade Mail to be able to deal with a Weaver, especially Core Weaver, which does so much damage. You want to be able to get that Blade Mail so the Weaver definitely stays away from you a little bit more and doesn't want to hard commit on a Pudge. If you're able to dismember him and your team commits on them, then you can definitely get a kill into the Weaver, but typically it's a very hard matchup as you're a low armor hero, and you definitely don't have that lockdown if Dismember is on cooldown, or if you're not able to get that setup for you to be able to blink onto them and dismember them. If you're a good Pudge player, you can definitely make it happen and get a lot of kills with this hero. It's absolutely fun to play. Some of the builds I would definitely recommend to this hero are going to be Phase Boots, Blink, Aghanim Scepter, Kaya Sange, and then you can go for an item like Heart. That's always going to be a very nice and active build as you're rushing Blink. If you need to be the setup for your team and you need to be that initiation, then you get a Blink. But most of the time, if you have an offlaner that likes to build Blink, I definitely don't need to build Blink on the Pudge, and you can build as tanky as possible with items like a Radiance. You can go for E-Blade, you can go for Bloodstone and Aghanim Scepter. If you in the late game have yourself a Bloodstone running with Radiance and you have Rock going on and you have Cloak of Flames by any chance, you're going to be doing so much damage and it's going to be insanely difficult to bring you down. And especially in the late game when you have a lot of flesh heaps going, if you had a pretty decent game, it's going to be almost impossible to kill a 7, 8 or 10,000 HP Pudge with 40 or 50 flesh heaps. So this hero can definitely be incredibly tanky in the ultra late game with a bunch of items. And if you get an item like Giant's Ring, you are pretty much in heaven and you're going to be doing a lot of work and it's going to be insanely difficult for the enemy team to deal with you. This hero will always be one of the most funnest heroes to play in Dota. Definitely let me know in the comment section below if you guys are Pudge spammers, if you guys play this against any matchup, no matter what the lane is, if you guys are willing to just spam pick Pudge, because it's just super fun. Even when the hero is not viable, it still has the best pick rate in Dota. And it'll usually fluctuate. If there's something really broken in the game, it'll fluctuate to maybe the second most picked or the third, but it definitely stays in top 5 every single month. No matter how bad the hero can get nerfed or buffed, it's always going to be on that high pick rate because it's just a really fun hero to play. And like I mentioned before, it's going to be a high risk, high reward hero. Sometimes if you're snowballing on this hero, it's going to feel broken to the enemy team. It's going to feel like they can't do anything about the Pudge. But some games you're going to feel like they can easily deal with you. They can all collapse onto you and they're not going to let you do anything. So you typically don't want to play into high burst or high stun lineups because they're going to be able to cancel your ultimate, which is a really big part of his kit. As you're able to heal from it, you're also able to hold targets down for a really long duration of time. So you definitely need to make sure you're not playing into huge stun based lineups or heavy burst, as Pudge is tanky, but that's more for the mid to late game. Early on, he's not that tanky. He doesn't have a lot of armor and he can definitely farm fast, but you need to make sure you rush either the blink to make plays or you get the Aghanim Scepter if you really want to scale and do that extra damage. Let me know in the comment section below if Pudge is one of your favorite heroes, and if you guys are a spammer, what tips would you guys give to beginner players trying to learn a hero like Pudge? I definitely enjoy playing this hero all the time in mid. Super fun to play. Every time I see a melee hero or a matchup that I can definitely take advantage of, I will definitely be picking the mid Pudge. It's always going to be very fun, and when you land some hooks, especially out of vision, those are always very fun, very rewarding to get. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A like would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.